Hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Oh, I like this.
The windshield wipers.
It reminds me a bit of like a mime exercise.
Like a mime, yeah, like you hold the...
You hold the pipe, right?
You hold the pipe and you turn it. For those of you listening to the podcast, we're doing a mime exercise.
Yeah, I feel like that's a real thing, right? That
Yeah,
you learn
I don't know how to do it. I don't, but yes.
You just did it nice.
Did I?
Yeah, you did it nice. You just hold it, and then you're supposed to...
You're holding the pipe.
Yeah.
You cradle the pipe underneath,
Yeah,
and
and
you
then
turn
you-
the pipe.
Tell us how it looks. Does it look like we're holding pipes?
I feel like a mime when I do it.
Yeah, we're good
that
mimes.
enough?
And then every time you drop something, a mime dies. That's what they say.
Wow, that's really dangerous. How many times do people who try to mime drop something?
That's
a lot.
why there's not a lot of mimes.
I gotta tell you, I had a friend tell me about an audition. She was like auditioning musical theater students. And this girl was singing a song from the musical Ragtime. Great musical.
Yeah.
It's about like a woman singing to her baby.
You have your time.
Yeah, exactly. Your daddy's, you are your daddy's son.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person was like holding it and cradling the baby and then like sang a big note and like gestured up. So like mimed like her arms up like a
Yes.
Vita and the baby would have just like, just
Well, the baby would
goodbye.
have just floated there until you got to pick it back
Suspended.
up.
Magic baby.
That's it. Simple.
Anyway.
Welcome to Hype Night.
Night.
Welcome.
I like that we've been doing these things on Hype Night lately, Dale, where we do like little preambles before we welcome people.
That's it. That's
like a
it.
thing.
What's it called? It's a cold open.
It's a cold open. You
That's
just
it.
witnessed the cold open.
The Hype Night cold open. Listen, maybe you are new to this show and you don't know what it is. I'm going to tell you right now. It's where we bring on an amazing woman and give her compliments for an hour.
Yeah.
Because you know what? There's so many wonderful, amazing women out there. The list is long. You're all getting compliments.
All of you.
All of you.
You're on a list. We're going to find you and we're going to compliment you.
You get compliments.
Okay? Wow, we're really aggressive tonight.
I feel like we are. It's because the
aggressive.
heat broke.
I'm so happy. I just want to say last week we talked a little bit, or I think it was last week, one of our previous episodes, we talked a little bit about the oppressive heat and how this girl, and I'm pointing to myself if you're listening to the podcast, does not like it. And then this morning I walked out and I was like, all is right with the world again.
It was fine.
This is how Dale and I are different.
That's okay.
It's okay. It
That's
takes
okay.
different strokes to rule the world.
Yeah. Maybe you have seen Hype Night before,
Indeed.
in which case, welcome back.
Thanks for joining us again.
You know, come back, feel good. There's good spots in the world. We're one of them.
We're one of them. We want to be. That's that's why we started the show. We started the show to celebrate women, to bring some positivity into the world.
That's true.
And we're happy that you're able to join us.
And we're going to start right now by giving each other a little bit of hype.
Okay.
Okay. I'm giving hype to you first.
Okay.
You're funny. You're funny.
So aggressive.
You're funny. You're a funny woman.
Thank you.
And your writing is funny.
Thank you.
And you're a good writer. And you're a
Oh.
funny woman.
Thanks, Dale.
And it's just the truth.
That's really nice.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, no, don't tell me.
I dare you. I dare you to tell me I'm wrong because you can't because she's great.
That's nice.
No, your writing
I
is
really
fantastic.
needed that today. Thank you.
And, you know, it's the truth.
Thank
And, you know, I think anyone who gets an opportunity to ever write with you, or if you ever get an opportunity to, if you have something that you need fixed because it ain't funny, she make it funny for you.
Thanks, man.
That's the truth.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dale. That's, like, very meaningful to me.
Good.
I appreciate that hype. I take it.
Good. I'm
Thank
glad.
you. My hype for you, funnily enough, is that we already know, I've complimented you many times on how funny you are. Because you are. Because Dale, I mean, if you don't know that Dale's funny, you haven't been paying attention. So I'm just going to say that. But you also are just a great actor, a great serious actor. You also like have a stature and a gravity to you that I think a lot of people don't, maybe necessarily because things are so narrow in casting and in the way people look at things. But if you should consider Dale for any of your acting needs because she is funny and she is grounded and wonderful.
I'm going to take that hype.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hype.
That's
what we do. We just be like, you're great. You're
That's hype
great.
night.
You're great.
Great.
Don't you want to live in a world where that happens?
I know.
I do.
I do.
That's why we made the show.
Yeah.
This is the world where that happens.
Yeah.
Dale,
I think it's time.
I think it's time. So
Yeah.
our guest tonight, talk about positivity.
Okay.
She is just a ray of sunshine. She's delightful, but also she is like sharp and funny and biting. So she's like the perfect combination of those things. And we posted a picture of her to advertise that she was coming on the show, and everyone I know was like, "Oh my God, look at that joyful smile!" And I was like, "I know."
It was a fantastic picture. It was really great picture, though.
It was a great picture.
Who has a picture like that?
Who has a picture of them with like a wall behind them of like, was it pom-poms or flowers?
Flowers. It looked like they were like textured made
flowers
Yeah.
of all different colors.
Yeah.
And just light emanating from her face.
Scroll down for a second on the page. Go take a look at it and then come back.
Come back. But come back.
Come back, though.
Don't stay too long.
Don't
because
leave.
Our guest tonight is the wonderful, the delightful Shaista Latif. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh my God.
I picked this joyful song.
I'm gonna tuck my chair
Right?
I love it.
It's called Sugar Zone.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
I'm in a sugar-free zone.
I know. That's
so I'm
there
going
you
to
go.
take all the sugar I possibly can.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, open source music.
Wonderful.
Thanks for being
Shaista,
here.
Thanks for letting me be here
Oh my God.
and giving me compliments. I felt like dying. I was dying the entire time. But thank you. You're so funny. You're so funny. I'm sandwiched in between. I feel very fortunate. Yeah.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Listen, you have chosen to have Whiskey Nate.
Yes.
Whiskey Nate. I
So
like
let
that.
me go get this Whiskey Nate.
I'm giving
This
us
is
different
great.
music for the whiskey tonight
All right.
because I'm putting us Dale's favorite song.
Oh.
I do like this song a lot.
I don't know what this is, but I like it.
Right?
Well, it's open
Yeah.
source. I'll tell you that much.
And thank you, open source.
Thank
music.
you, open source music. So tonight's is this Wayne Gretzky's whiskey?
It is Wayne Gretzky's whiskey. Wayne Gretzky, number 99.
Yeah.
It is finished in red wine casks.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I'm eyeballing this. I'm freeballing it.
You're free balling.
Is that right?
That is not
that
open
much?
source
No,
music.
that's
And Tom
perfect.
Petty is litigious, so I'm
Is
gonna
he?
get in trouble.
Is he
Yeah,
litigious?
didn't Sorry, I just got a sign that I should stop that.
It's like, who's litigious? Tell me.
Well, but his estate is just litigious. Like, fine, I know that he's not around. Anyway, rest in peace, Tom Petty.
Tom Petty's dead?
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't it? Oh no.
Wait, Tom Petty did die.
Yes.
2 years ago.
Yeah, he did.
I
Well,
always
then
mix
how
up Tom Petty and
litigious?
Tom Waits. Tom
Oh
Waits
no,
is still
Tom Waits is
alive.
still alive.
No, he's still
Okay.
alive.
Let's not break any more news on this show.
No, I
'cause
hope
feel-
we're not. It's like a death show. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, it's me. Matt.
Yeah.
Matt was like, I thought it was because I said litigious, and Matt was like, no, don't talk about the law on the show. but
I
we're
just
going
want to thank our patrons on Patreon who have supplied us with our liquor for the last few shows. Thank you so much. I'm acting like I've already drank a bunch of it.
I already was too, so I don't know. Man, Wayne Gretzky, thanks for your
Thanks.
whiskey.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers
Thank
to you. Mm,
That's neat.
that is neat. It's neat. Whoa.
That's nice. I'm feeling
Good.
very
It's like-
smugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
it travel.
Yeah.
The mouthfeel is exceptional.
The mouthfeel.
Wayne Gretzky. Our friend Alice Moran, former guest, past guest Alice Moran, calls Wayne Gretzky Papa.
Didn't
So
know
this
that.
would be called Papa's whiskey, I believe.
All right, Papa's
He
whiskey.
has Irish cream, and I believe she calls it Papa's cream. Oh.
Interesting thing about Wayne Gretzky. I have listened to a lot of Wayne Gretzky in my life.
Have you?
Like a ton.
Listened to him?
I've probably listened
What
to
is he-
hours of
Does
Wayne
he have
Gretzky.
like books on tape? What are you talking about?
Second City in Toronto. It
Yeah.
shares a building with Wayne Gretzky's
Oh, right.
Yes.
restaurant.
Right.
And in the bathroom at Wayne Gretzky's, they just play interviews with Wayne Gretzky. Like him as a kid, him and his dad.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, it's interviews and all kinds of stuff. So sometimes when you're working on writing shows at Second City, instead of someone might be in a bathroom or whatever, you would walk and go into the bathroom at Wayne Gretzky's, and you just listen and be like, that was the first time I put on skates and whatever. I wasn't good at making an interview,
Wow.
but here I am at the age of 8, and then they play it.
Wow.
So I feel like I don't know. I feel connected.
That's cool. I'm into that. You know which bathrooms I love are the ones at Milagro restaurant? Because is it Milagro? I think it's Milagro where they play Spanish lessons. Is it Milagro? Or no? You know what it is?
I know it is. It's Mildred's.
It's
Mildred's Temple Kitchen.
Mildred's Temple Kitchen. Similar, reminded me of those, but
Yeah.
yes, they play Italian lessons. Is that right?
No,
Oh.
they play airline announcements. Where it's like, flight to San Francisco,
Right.
332,
There's a
leaving.
place that plays, maybe it's Buga. Anyway, there's a restaurant in Toronto that plays language lessons.
Tell
that
us
I
what
like.
it is.
Tell us what it is if you're watching, someone who knows it.
Yeah, tell
anyway.
us.
God,
Yeah.
I've never really experienced these bathrooms, I feel.
You gotta go to the bathroom
Yeah,
more.
I
go to the bathroom more.
Yeah. Get into them.
Anyway,
Let's talk about the best part of our day.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like,
Let's do
going
it.
on. We got a drink.
I'm
Got
gonna
best
put
part
this
of our
little
day.
here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I don't know. I can start. The best part of my day today was commuting to and from work, which usually is not a great, commuting is not usually a thing that I would celebrate, because
Yeah.
usually it's sort of fraught with crowds or challenges or obstacles. But today it was I left 15 minutes later and I drove to work and there was almost no traffic, so it was lovely. And
Great.
and then on the way home, same thing, and I had put new music on my phone. Well, I had updated, I had put old music of mine, but I had put new playlists on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that wonderful feeling when music you haven't listened to in a long time comes on and you're like, oh, this song, or you have that attachment to it, or it was really nice. And then we have a convertible, so I put the top down a bit and drove around, and it
that's so
was really nice and
nice.
summery, and it was nice. It was very nice.
Oh, that's
I enjoyed
good.
it, alone time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Just heard back, Alice Fazoulis is who played the
Really?
Italian lessons.
Oh, okay.
That's
that
who
was
we're
less
going.
exciting than I wanted
Good
to
to know.
No offense to Alice Fazoulis. I just thought it was something else.
Something
in
that,
my
well, I
brain.
think it was Alice Fazoulis. Best part of my day, I was at work today.
Mhm.
They bought me lunch.
Well, that's nice.
Oh.
That was nice.
What did you have for lunch?
Mean Bao.
Oh, I love Mean Bao.
Yeah, it's they do I don't know, baos.
Bao are so good. They're
It's is it Vietnamese?
Baos? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so it's a little.
I think other Asian cultures have versions of them as well that are called something else, but it's a similar,
Yeah, it's a steamed bun,
Yeah,
kind
oh,
of,
steamed
and
bun.
they put stuff in it, and then we also had dumplings, and then we also ordered root beer that the delivery person forgot, and then went back and got for us. It was a good day.
Oh, that's nice.
Free lunch.
Free lunch is great.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Nice.
Best part of my day. Right now I'm at a camp at it's called Peace Camp at Children's Peace Theater. And this morning we usually have a morning circle where we check in or we play a game, and sometimes we have artist guides, who are these incredible theater artists, and usually we try to let the kids play their game, but this one particular artist, Joe, is just so freaking excited to play that he really wanted to be the leader, or the one who guessed who is the leader or whatever
right.
it is. And I was just standing next to him, and the vibration off him was just I really want to get picked. I really want to get picked.
Oh.
And then just having to put up my hand as a co-director and be he wants to play. We should just let him play.
Amazing.
That was really sweet. I really enjoyed that.
That's
That's
nice.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, Peace Camp's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
That's
and
where
terrifying.
we and terrifying.
Yeah.
Great and terrifying.
Yeah, it's great and
also
terrifying.
sort of the most intense experience. I worked there a couple years ago with Shaista, and it was it was unlike anything I'd ever done before. It's
Yeah.
a rabbit hole of
I feel
awesomeness and intensity.
Yes, it's super intense. I mean, because the kids just learn that conflict is inevitable. So it's not about trying to force them to, get along with everyone, but in a way just kind of preparing them with reality. It sounds really intense.
I have a question about it, because I've heard you guys talk about Peace Camp before. How do the participants, the kids and stuff like that, find out about it or get involved in it?
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, so some of them, mostly through their parents, or I think some of them through kids at school. So, if there are kids who have come before who will tell other kids about it.
Okay.
But then also, it's also a lot of community work. So, Children's Peace Theater does a lot of outreach and community work in Scarborough and in the east part of Toronto where it's located. So, I think a lot of kids come through other programs there.
Okay.
And the outreach that happens. I don't know if there's any
Yeah,
other.
basically. I mean,
Yeah.
and the amazing part is that the kids, are usually campers and then they end up being like youth guides. So there's this like long history with a lot of the kids that go
Okay.
through that program. So it's just really interesting. And I love it because I grew up in that neighborhood. So for me, like spending the summer there is like being at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
lovely.
pretty great. But like you cannot survive it. Like
No.
there is like you were basically like
No.
nothing like at the end, just like a dry husk of a person.
Yep.
But it's so deeply fulfilling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's both of those things. It
Yeah.
was like every day would just be like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And after those 3 weeks, I was like, it was sort of, it was like something, I had been a part of something somewhere else in another space, like in another place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really something to watch kids, because they're having a lot of fun and there's so much fun that happens, but it's also like learning so much about conflict and communication and
And
Huge.
justice and freedom.
and- yeah.
Like I remember so clearly, like one of the first moments was, asking like, what is power? And one of the kids were like, it's the Illuminati. And everyone's like, Illuminati. And then we were like, okay, so what does that actually mean? And they're like, oh, like poor people at the bottom, rich people at the top. So you kind of like look at that and you're like, oh shit, that's deep. And all right, so they're completely capable and able to go to those very dark places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
it's neat. It's very
That's
neat.
I'm going to quickly tell you the hype rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take your hype.
Take it.
Take it.
Oh man.
Share the hype if we tell something wrong,
Yeah.
tell us we got something wrong.
Okay.
Please.
And share the hype. Share the hype. If anybody comes along that you're like, oh man, they're amazing, then
We love
Give
to
them
share
some
the
hype.
hype.
like
Yeah.
Tanisha just joined us on
Tanisha Tate.
So it's
so
like-
much
That's
hype.
so great.
Previous guest.
Yes.
Previous guest and previous guest connected to Children's Peace Theater.
Oh,
Yes.
of course, right.
And how it was the summer that we hung out.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
summer that we survived.
The summer that we survived together.
It's
It was
really
always
fun.
so delightful. I'll start the hype with this. It was always so delightful to arrive at the house. So Peace Camp happens, or Peace Theater is in the Massey House, which is in Taylor Creek Park, which is a beautiful park in Toronto.
Yeah.
And a beautiful old house, like a
Yeah.
historic house. And it was always so lovely to arrive and see you there. And you were always just,
Same.
Shaista, you have this generosity of spirit.
Oh no.
Yes. And I love it. I really was really just really delightful.
Oh, thank you. No, I had a really great time with you too. It's so nice to just like come to a community every morning and then like go through nature and you hear the birds and you hear the wind and the breeze, and so it's just a very surreal place to be in, but you learn so much about yourself and people, and just even as your practice, like as an artist, like how you relate to the world and navigate to it. Like it really confronts and challenges the ideas that you have of like social justice and what it means
yes.
to make things together.
Oh, yes, and like power structures and like methodology and how you're used to approaching things, and you just take for granted that that's the way you're going to approach that. And then you get to Peace Camp and you're like, oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, where did I come up with that?
Yeah.
That's an old thing, and it's
Interesting.
really cool. And the fact that you're
really cool.
That's the thing that struck me the most about that process, was that as an adult, I felt like I was learning way more than the kids were. Like I was always like, every day I was like, oh my God, my mind is bending and being challenged, and my heart. And the kids, because they're kids and they're so resilient and they kind of take everything in stride, and because they're learning as they go already, like to them everything is new.
Right.
But when you're an adult, you've already kind of cemented all these things, or you've decided all these things subconsciously or consciously, and then them being challenged in that way actually has such a big impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does.
Cool.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm going to be crying at the end of the 3
Right.
weeks for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's pretty emotional.
Cool. So, if people don't know who you are, Shaista is a theater creator, facilitator, dramaturg, mentor, performer, playwright, storyteller, director,
Yeah.
many things.
Many things.
I don't know you all that well, but I know of you, and our paths have crossed, but we've never officially worked together. I will say, saying that you were going to be on the show today and talking to many people you are very well loved.
Oh,
Like
that's really
people love
sweet.
you. Yeah.
That's really sweet. Thank
So
you.
that it's exciting. It's exciting to have you on because you have a wonderful reputation of being a wonderful person.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Because I always feel the opposite, where I'm like, people must think I'm just like weird at all times, you know? Yeah, that's great. Thanks, guys. You're repairing a lot of damage.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. I mean, but I'll say this. One thing I think people admire about, because as I said, you have a warmth and a generosity, but you also have a lot of chutzpah, and you also are not afraid to call things out and to speak up and to fight for things. And I think that is equally admirable, and something worth, admiring and something to be inspired by.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you so
if you can do that, if you can stand up, be true to yourself, make hard decisions and say hard things, and still have people like you and respect you, you're obviously doing something right.
Oh,
So
thank goodness.
Yeah.
Just because you're
Thanks, guys.
hilarious.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're very funny. You're and your perspectives are kind of outside. I saw your show at SummerWorks, your latest, I don't know if it's your latest, but it's the latest one I know of, The Archivist, which I loved, there was one scene in it that I particularly was like, this is a brilliant scene, which is there's a Persian rug in the middle of the room, and you bring someone onto the rug, and you ask if there are any Afghani people in the audience.
Yeah.
And I think there was someone, or maybe
There's
there wasn't, or a couple
Oh,
always.
Yeah.
And you come on and you sing A Whole New World with them on the rug. But then there's video playing behind you as well, isn't there?
Yes, of just protests and war scenes and effigies being burned, but they don't, most of the time they don't know what's actually going on behind them,
Yes.
so they're just enjoying it. It's I'm just living out all my fucking Aladdin fantasies.
But I love it.
That is it. So people are like, where are you from? Like, Agrabah.
Oh my God,
And
yes.
you just, and they'll go, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
it.
That's nice.
Well, now, I think people are a little bit more woke now. I think
A
they're
little
a little
bit, yeah.
I'd probably say that's nice. I don't know the movie very well, or the story. Belrubador, right? Aladdin?
Oh.
Isn't the princess's name Belrubador?
In the actual story, we're talking about the Disney version.
The Disney version,
So it's
yeah.
never going to be that sophisticated.
I know.
That's too many syllables
No.
for the Disney version.
Wow, that was very sophisticated.
Impressive.
That was
Well,
very impressive.
Dale.
Yes.
Guys,
Damn.
Belrubador.
Yeah.
Tell her
there's
she's
that.
wrong.
Tell me I'm
Tell
wrong.
her she's wrong.
That said, I don't know the movie very well, so if you said that to me, I would not know
Very
that
good.
that's
The
a made-up
only
place.
thing that we could identify with. That was it.
That was the only content for you.
It was that and maybe Bambi,
Right.
because
Right.
depression. That's it. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Bambi's rough,
Amazing.
man.
Bambi is rough.
You know what's even
It's very
worse?
rough.
Dumbo. Did you see the trailer
Yeah.
for the live action Dumbo? Already, I
no,
was
I
or not
have
the
not.
live action, but it is live action.
They
yeah,
call
but
him
it's CG.
Dumbo.
And it's I saw the trailer and I was like, oh no, this is not gonna be good.
The one story that really freaks me out is Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
'cause-
refuse to watch it as an
Well,
adult.
he gets in with a bad crowd, man. He gets with a bad
It's
crowd.
cool to create a boy who's everything about that story seems problematic to me.
Yeah.
About Pinocchio.
Yeah, it frightens
Hurts my
me.
feelings.
It really frightens me.
Yeah.
I had so many nightmares as a
Did you
child
about
from watching-
Pinocchio?
Oh my God, so
Yeah.
much of turning into a donkey, of
Yeah.
being sold off, child exploitation. These things really shape the way that I look at the world.
And
but
hence
really,
the shows
though.
that you make.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
You go back and you look at these stories, and I'm like, I always think of going back to Dumbo. I think of Dumbo as Jumbo. You're like Dumbo, Jumbo, Jumbo, Dumbo. It's Dumbo, Dumbo the elephant, Dumbo. And then you go, no.
No, they call
He's
him
called
Dumbo.
because he's got big ears and he looks dumb.
I know.
Dumbo. I'm like, I can't.
It's sad.
And yes, he has the feather and he believes in himself, but
He flies,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Eventually.
yeah, eventually.
He can fly with the feather and then he doesn't have it. And you're like, wow, what a wonderful thing to learn. But his mother's dead. So
I
there's that.
also have an obsession with circus performers and circus from the turn of the century. It's a strange obsession I have with the sideshows that used to happen and the kind of like the tall man and the like hairy woman and the like all of those. I've always had a strange obsession with that stuff, and so this live action movie also has like a very that kind of feel to it, like a kind of circusy sideshowy kind of feel. I don't know how much of that is because it's a teaser, right? But that also gets me very emotional because I think about that. The complication of that exploitation.
Hard.
Because on the one hand, they were given careers and jobs and an opportunity, but they were being so exploited, and like that complication is
I wrote and directed a sideshow for a horror event.
Oh yeah.
And my performers were like super talented, wonderful performers. But it was very difficult thing to manage and be like the people who are watching it in a certain way, and how do we not make it feel exploitative at the same time? It is captivating to watch this. And the performers were so proud of what they were able to do and accomplish, even though it was like terrifying and gross. Wonderful. Gross. But it was a difficult thing to navigate, because I was like, we're putting this in a horror context. But you can't look at a show like that without the context of what it was. It's so exploitative, and you're like, oh, I don't know, this was like 2015, 2014 when I did this.
Yeah.
Amazing performers, though.
Cool.
Like crazy stuff.
Well, hype to them.
Yeah, like eating light bulbs and stuff. It was
hype to them. Like sugar
incredible.
glass light bulbs?
No, like
real light bulbs?
No.
Yes. It was all legit.
Whoa.
It was all legit stuff.
Okay.
That's
I hope
crazy.
they're doing okay.
Oh yeah, hype to you. Hopefully you're
all
doing okay.
wonderful.
So, Shaista, I want to talk about your first play was Graceful Rebellions, right? Or your first, like not your first play, but sort of the you can say.
It's the first time that I worked with text, because
Yeah.
I've been just working in improv and improvisation for a number of years, but it was the first time that I actually was like, oh, there's a script.
Nice.
And then it just got published last year as well.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
So much hype for that.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
No,
so
thank
good.
you.
Published
Great.
playwright.
Love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
pretty
That makes me
great.
very
It's not
happy.
an easy thing to do.
No.
To even have someone to get interested in publishing it, and then getting through the contract process of doing that, and what does that look like? Please. It's hard.
No, it was a great process.
Were you going through that process when we were at Peace Camp?
No, that point, no, that was like in 2013.
Okay.
14 is when we did that, and then I think we were 2015 or 16.
16 maybe.
16,
Yeah,
yeah,
2016.
16,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you went to, so you're a Second City Conservative grad.
When
And
I
you
was
also-
19. There's like so many years.
19.
I was 19.
Because I'm a Second City
Yeah.
person, I have to ask, who were the main stage people around? Would you
Oh
remember
my god. Yeah, I did see you in your reviews as well.
Oh, really? Oh.
And the touring companies, I forget who it was, but I've been going to Second City since I was like in high school.
Right.
So
Me
there
too.
was like
I was going in high school. Yeah.
So I was totally obsessed with it, and like even when I was at the fire hall before it like moved. So yeah, just like completely obsessed in doing that, and it was so funny because like everyone was like a little bit older than me in those groups as well, like going
Sure.
through A to E and like going to conservatory,
Yep.
and it's been so fascinating to kind of just see like how much of those things I'm still using in my practice, like as a theater artist,
Yeah.
like as a playwright,
Yep.
and the importance of doing that.
Yep.
But I also went at a time when it was like, you know, when you had like diversity auditions and you had like
Yep.
regular auditions, so it was like, you know, at this point, like, you know, a lot of institutions, a lot of organizations have progressed in the way that they kind of view equity and inclusion. But I remember very clearly, like, despite graduating from Second City Conservatory, like, I wasn't able to audition in the general auditions with everyone else. I always had to go into exclusively the diversity ones.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, which often had people who didn't have the training or didn't go through the conservatory in
Yep.
there too. So it's really interesting to kind of look at the new generation and see how many people, even the span of like, you know, I'm 31 now, like, you know, 10, 11 years later, to see the progression of that and the change of that
Yeah.
and the way that it works.
When I started at Second City, they didn't have gender parity.
Yeah.
There was only 2 women and 4 men
That's
on
right.
stage,
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Let alone having like less, like they would only have like 1 person of any kind of diversity. It would be like 5 white people and something else.
Yeah.
And that was acceptable. And
Yeah.
they're doing a much better job of it now.
They are, yeah.
But yeah, it was like, you guys are over here, white people are over here.
Yeah.
And that's not that long ago.
And it wasn't that long ago, and it's
Mhm.
been pretty incredible to look at and see the difference of experience
Yeah.
in just a matter of like a decade,
Mhm.
and to reflect upon that. It's I don't know. It's just like I feel so hopeful for the future. Like if there's so much change that happens in 10 years, like I'm hoping the next 10 years it'll
Me too.
improve too.
And,
Yes.
and also, like, body shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Once,
Yeah,
they,
absolutely.
once they kind of broke out, and I encourage all comedy in Toronto to break out of different ideals of
Yeah.
body shape as well, because
Yes.
it's just like, you're killing me.
I encourage all makers of theater and film and television and comedy to consider that
Yeah.
things happen to all kinds of people who look all
Yeah.
different sorts of ways and have all different sorts of abilities.
Mhm.
You know, like I think the more that we can keep trying to shift the processes by which people get chosen and people get access to that training and those auditions and that, you know,
And your shows will be better.
they
Yeah,
will
it's
be.
true.
Because it will have voices that you have not heard.
Yes. I mean, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm hopeful
Yeah.
too. I'm hopeful that keeps shifting
And changing, yeah.
and
for
changing.
sure.
Yes, please. So you were nominated for a Canadian Comedy Award in 2012,
Mhm.
and was that for Graceful Rebellion?
No, this
that
was for it was a musical that was
That's right.
at Fringe, and it went on tour, so we just directed it and dramaturged it. Yeah.
amazing.
It
Canadian
was so many
Comedy
years
Award.
ago.
Canadian Comedy
Oh my
Award.
god. I never got a chance to like travel, you know, where everyone just like gets drunk, like hangs out at hotel
Me neither.
rooms and,
No,
like,
I
you
did.
never did
I
that?
got nominated once.
Yeah.
And it was the year that it was in New Brunswick.
Oh.
And so I got to go, and it was Marco Timpano, who I think is watching.
And
Hi,
he won.
Marco. And he
He
won
won.
that year, and we
Mhm.
were nominated in the same category.
Oh,
and
beat you.
he beat me, and which was great, and I was so happy for him.
so funny.
He's
Yeah,
so funny,
yeah.
Marco Timpano. Oh God, and so lovely. So and it was such a blast to go and travel. I was really lucky that was
Yeah.
my experience of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nominated a bunch of times, never got to go anywhere, with whether it be shows or whatever, and I did win, but I won in Toronto.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, right.
And then someone stole our award.
Oh right,
What?
the stolen
On the night-
award.
Someone stole your award.
The case of the stolen Canadian
No.
Comedy Award.
Oh, that's so awful.
I know. I mean, it wasn't like it was like we won like best show or whatever, like best ensemble.
That's a
piece or
pretty
whatever.
That's a good award. I love how
It's a
you're
good award.
brushing that off. You know, just like best show or whatever.
I know, but it was like it wasn't never going to be shared by 6 people anyways. It
Yeah.
was obviously going back to Second City, but then it went missing that night. So
Oh, I guess
it's okay.
Sorry.
They don't have
you better
that.
give it back. If
Yeah.
you have it out there and you're watching,
Give
you
it
better
back.
give that back.
feel
We
that
have-
shame.
We have my husband's at our house, so I feel like I can look at that and go, I'll share
Sure.
that little trophy.
I don't know. Is he
Be
willing
mine
to
too.
share it with you?
Yeah, I dust it.
Yeah, okay.
Just
You've
that trophy.
earned it. So you were part of the Young Creators Unit at Buddies, and then Graceful Rebellion premiered at Rhubarb.
Yeah.
But then it also went to Halifax Queer Acts Festival, right?
Yeah, and I went to Halifax. It was amazing. I haven't really traveled much in my life. I haven't had the opportunity to do so, but hoping that will change in the next year. But it was so lovely. Like, cars stop for you when you cross the street.
That's nice.
Halifax is great.
Isn't that
It's
nice,
just such a
Halifax?
sweet, lovely place. And then I went to the Ontario Scene Festival that was produced by the NAC, and so just done it at different festivals and grown the work, and then retired it and went goodbye.
Yep, I
Yeah.
know that feeling.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know what, like every show has its life, and
Yes.
sometimes, and it's good to know, to be able to say, cool, that was that,
Yeah.
and move on from it. I think that's a good.
I think that's a healthy thing.
Yeah,
You can't.
I think so too.
You go like
Unless
now we're
if an
moving-
avenue opens for it, but I
Sure.
feel like even sometimes, can I be honest, like sometimes when there was the opportunity to carry a show forward, sometimes I was the person being like, no, I think that's done.
Yeah.
I think you have to sometimes do
Yeah.
What
that.
was that show that you were the, I forget the name, so please forgive me,
It's okay.
when you were the singer, the pop
singer.
star.
The pop star.
Do you
Mary
remember?
Angela?
Was it? I can't remember. I remember watching it years ago.
Where was the show?
Oh God,
Man, you
I
must
could
have
not
killed it.
forget. It was like
Yes.
probably like many, many, many years
I mean,
ago.
I've done a bunch of different
Yeah.
characters. It sounds like Mary Angela.
Mm.
Mary Angela is a gold digger,
Mm-hmm.
an Italian gold digger.
It must have been that.
It was
Yeah.
really fun to play that
Yeah.
character. Yeah, I mean, I miss some of those characters, and every once in a while they come back in a new form.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be playing something else, and I'll be like, oh, that's a little taste of that,
Yeah.
or that's a little taste of that. But yeah, there just came a time when I was like, I don't have anything to say through that thing anymore.
For sure, and I think there's also this thing of like, you know, when you like you're an artist of color, or you're a working class artist, like when you first start out, there's a sort of expectation in exploring your experience and your history, like in a certain way. So you do it under a certain kind of lens where maybe there isn't a certain level of like care or understanding, or even your own life experience, you know, when you're like, it's a difference between like writing a play when you're like in your late 20s and like doing something like in your 30s, like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
you know, there's life experience and having that awareness. So for me, that was very much like Graceful Rebellions was a representation of that certain time and period of like coming to terms with my own queerness and my identity as an Afghan woman as well. And it's been interesting to kind of refuse the role of representation. So,
Yeah.
you know, to not be hooked into a certain element of like, these are the only things that I am and these are the only things that I do, and then try to just expand your practice in other ways and challenge that idea. Like, I can't always perform as an Afghan person, right? And I can't represent that country either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I really loved about The Archivist was the playing around with that idea, with those identities and like how they intersect and where you embrace them and where you won't and where you choose that, and also what our expectation is of you. And I think that's such an interesting thing is like what an audience's expectation or what a person with a certain amount of privileges expectation is of a marginalized community or a marginalized person, or what we expect from them in terms of what they will represent and what they will teach us and how they will be, and like all of those structures. I love how you interrogate that in your work.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult in general because sometimes it feels like I just wish I could just go with certain identity markers and to like just like fully embrace that. But I also think like as an artist, you're always shifting, you're always experiencing new things, and to relegate yourself to a certain kind of limitation in the way that people see you or the work that you do, like, limits your ability to talk about other perspectives, right? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
you know, moving away from identity politics is like, what does it mean now to talk about like class and disparity in that realm? These are not very funny subjects right now. Like, they're super intense, but they're important and they can be funny.
They are. Well, this is the thing is like in your shows they are funny.
Yeah.
Like that's the amazing thing, because it's not like going to a show where like you're just talking about them.
Yeah.
You like, you know, are in the dark telling a story, and then you have an electric guitar and you're
and I force people to come up.
You force people to do things. I love forcing people to do things in shows. I am like notorious for it, but I also come from that experience in Clown and Buffon of like, let's bring someone up and like, you know, and you know how to take care of that person enough that they don't hate that they've come up, because you don't want to be that person who's like exploiting people. But it's also like if you get the right person up there and you start to get a sense of like how to pick people who will be great, then they really can do some magical things up there.
It's true.
Yeah.
There has to be like some show of willingness, and consent's important in general.
Consent is huge.
Consent is huge. You usually ask, do you really want to do this? And they'll be like,
are you sure?
Yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
it.
okay. They'll be a little like, all right. And then their friends like, go. And they're like, okay, I'll do it.
It's not an altogether easy thing though. It's like, you know, it's like in improv a lot of times you get people up and you get people and you try to get information out of people, and some people are very skilled at it and some people have a real knack for it and other people just cannot.
Yeah.
They just cannot get that audience participation in the way that
Yes.
to trust, and the audience can feel it too, right?
Yeah.
You can turn the whole audience off just going like, I'm scared for this poor person up there. I'm scared for them.
You also don't want someone who's too eager, because then
also
that person is like, oh, I know how to do this, and then you're like, oh no.
You're like,
It's
oh.
like, no.
I have a little bit of online hype here from Marco Timpano, who we were just talking about. Shaista did a show called Beyond the Moors, which was brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much.
There you
Thank you. That was such an incredible show because there's like 21 like actors, like they all came. Oh my god, I was like a baby. Like I think I was like 23 or 24, and it was like organizing it and like putting it together, but it's like everyone like showed up, and like it was just like a parody of like Jane Austen and Bronte novels and doing it, but it was like
So good.
oh my god, I feel so bad. I wish I was able to give everyone like tons of money to do something like that, but it was just I was so impressed, like being in my early 20s, like the amount of dedication and commitment that happened in that space from like all ages and experiences to just come in and just like do the work and just have a ton of fucking fun.
I
It's
love
one of my
that.
favorite memories of life is doing that show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yay.
that, Marco.
Thank you.
And so for all of this theater work and all of the wonderful exploration you're doing, you were selected as the protege director by Nadia Ross when she
Yeah.
won the Simonovich Prize.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fantastic.
It was, yeah. It was very unexpected and very happy for her because she's had, you know, like 3 decades of like working very hard and like, you know, as an independent like theater creator, it's not an easy position to be in. And also
Right.
as a woman and also like doing that type of work, you know, in the 90s, like with the tax cuts, with the Mike Harris like government, with
Yep.
so many shifts and changes. And
I
for,
wonder what that's like.
oh, I know.
We're all
I
gonna
know.
see it again. Sorry, it's hype night.
No, it's hype night. History does repeat itself, but the
Dale,
good thing is...
Dale's like, I will grab
Yeah.
that whiskey.
Thank you so much.
Just gonna get up on that. There you
Yeah, so it's been impressive to kind of see someone move through those decades, and it was an incredible experience. It was very surreal to be in that space, like, because it's, you know, it's at the National Arts Center, like, there's so many people, there's,
And
like,
it's so beautiful there.
it's gorgeous,
Yeah.
you know, and you have, like, meat being carved and all this catering and the intensity, and, like, everyone's sitting at a little table with the expectation of, like, doing a speech, but, it, you know, to tell you the truth, like, it was very uncomfortable for me in, like, in very deep ways.
Really?
Like, of being up there, like, sometimes you have this expectation of, like, oh, I belong to a certain community, I'm finally here, I finally addressed it. But then when you're up there, you're just like, wow, this feels very alien to me as well.
That's interesting.
You know, and it was like, is this the place that I want to be in?
Interesting.
And I remember just having that very clear, like, question as it was happening because, you know, when you look at the room and the sort of the money, the funds that goes into organizing something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Simonovich family, like Eleanor, like, you know, was a huge patron of the arts and also an artist herself. But then you look at, you know, how many people are actually working class in the room and what does it mean to actually, like, in your address, speak about being a working class person, like growing up in social housing and being here and also, like, you know, soak in and accept the sort of extravagance of recognition and celebration too. You know? And there's a deep discomfort in that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, because there's a real dissonance often in artistic communities around the reality of being an artist and the machine of capitalism or the machine of money that makes those things happen and patronage and all those things. And so it's very complicated to figure out where you fit in that space, right?
Yeah, it is. But it was an incredible privilege and honor to be able to be in that space and to have that opportunity to just, like, speak about what it means to be an artist. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was so thrilled when I saw that.
Thank you.
I was like, I just think it's great. I think it's great.
Thanks.
And then when we were at Peace Camp together, you had just started working, and I remember you telling me this. You were like, "Oh, I'm doing this voice gig.
Yeah.
I got this voice gig where I'm voicing this character in a movie, and it's being produced by Angelina Jolie." And I was like, "Oh, great!" And like, the breadwinner. Like, it was like you were so nonchalant about it. But yeah, it you know, was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And you voiced Soraya?
Yes, yeah.
And I loved it. We watched it and it was so
I'm
lovely.
so happy. Thank you
to
so
like
much.
hear your voice and it was really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was the process like getting that?
I
Like,
think
was it just auditioned through, or?
it was just audition. I think we auditioned like 3 or 4 times. I
Mhm.
think that's what the process was. And I think they were very specifically looking for, like, Afghan performers and creators to voice that. So it from my understanding that it took a long time
Mhm.
to kind of find the people. And there's, like, in, like, Canadian theater, there's, like, Kawa Ada and myself as, like, the 2
Right.
Afghans that are there. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many South Asians, there's so many Indians and, like,
Right.
Pakistani people
Yeah.
and, like, Chinese, Asian, like, there's so many. And then there's, like, the 2 of us. So it was just, it was so interesting to do an Afghan story, even though it was, like, you know, written by this activist and this author, Deborah Ellis, you know, and her journey and experience of being there. But it was surreal to kind of have the experience of like reading that book, like when you're younger, when it first came out, like it's been part of so many education curriculums, and to have the opportunity to voice it and to continue that sort of legacy and that story. And it turned out so beautifully.
It did.
You know, it really did.
It's really special.
Yeah. And Anita Duran, like, just who wrote the screenplay, and it was pretty outstanding. And I had my reservations myself in doing it, because it's like, what does it mean to, like, participate in an Afghan story, having not, like, been raised, you know, in Afghanistan, but raised in Canada.
Sure.
And also taking on the accent of, like, an Afghan girl, like, what did it mean for me to do that? So there's, like, a constant questioning of that. But there's 3-4 auditions. We finally got a chance to kind of see roughly the animations as well, and then make sure that it matched. And I learned a lot. Like, you know, it just really made me think of, you know, I have so much respect for actors, you know, in general. I don't tend to think of myself as an actor.
Yeah, you're an actor.
You know, but
you can be many things.
I can be many things, but I do have a very special appreciation and respect for actors who, like, go to an audition and show up and memorize, and, like, it takes so much vulnerability to be able to say, this is who I am, these are my skill sets, like, I'm here and willing to work, and I've done the selfish route of just making my own work and not having to do that. So doing that was really intense for me, and it made me question, like, oh, what does it actually mean to be a performer in this medium?
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, you were probably, like, you were just talking about being a part of the carved meat gala.
Yeah.
You know, that
carved meat gala.
Carved meat gala.
The carved meat gala.
Carved meat is such a... You have a very good way of describing things. Because as soon as you say carved meat, you go, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. We've all been to those.
You're talking money. You're talking carved meat.
Carved meat. It's a carving station.
Yeah.
It's that carving station.
Yeah, and everyone was wearing white gloves.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is fancy.
So surely with this, like with the breadwinner and whatnot, there must have been more carving stations in your life that came.
Yeah, please give us the details on the carving stations.
You've been very involved in TIFF in all these years, and also hosting, and also, like, just really being part of it. So it was pretty wild for me to, like, see it from a distance for so many years, and then actually encounter it and, like, go to the parties. Like, most of the time I took my brother with me, which was, like, super, super fun.
Yes.
I love my brother. And but, like, the red carpet, because, it was at the Elgin Theater. It was so beautiful, and you have, like, a ton of people lining up, and they're not there for you. They're there for Angelina Jolie, right? And then she arrives, and it was a little bit wild for me that it just felt like a very surreal experience, like being in a whole other type of universe where there just seemed to be so much at stake at all times.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing about film at that level, or when you're in those environments, is like the amount of money and the amount of investment and the amount of like the height of the stakes is really striking. And it's so otherworldly because we don't encounter that.
No.
Really, almost ever, right? So
yeah, like I worked TIFF in a different capacity, but I remember like my first year of going there, my first year of actually being like an employee and working for it, it was like you're going to encounter people that this could be the most important moment in their career.
Yeah.
So you need to like deal with it accordingly. It doesn't mean that they get what they want.
No.
That doesn't mean that, but it does mean that the stakes are so high. Yeah. And from every film has people involved in it. It's TIFF like that. That's just like, it is so incredible. I can't even imagine like
it was insane. I mean,
going to the Elgin and being a part of that.
It was huge. I mean, like the hordes of people that were there because they were there for her, and also her children were there, and like every child had like a bodyguard. Like it was like it was pretty insane. And then when you go in the space and you're doing a talk back, and after you go to the sort of after party and experiencing that, but even when we were waiting to like go to the party, we had to get picked up into our cars and being placed over. Like the hordes of people are standing backstage, just like waiting. Yeah. And I was like, does anybody want my autograph?
Shaista,
like just as a joke.
This is why I love you.
So I kept going up to people and be like, "Would you like my autograph?" And people were just like laughing, but I was like, "No. Do you want my autograph? I'm actually part of this. I'm part of this film. I'll take it." But
just listen to me.
Yeah, and they were all holding like just Angelina Jolie like photographs and things, but it was impressive. Like, you're in an animated movie. Your face is not even being shown. So it was like pretty funny to kind of be proud of it and navigate that space, but also be like, your face is never seen. It's just like your voice. And it's like, you have 300+ plus like incredible people that have worked on this film for like so many years, like all the animators, all the artists, the story makers, like you do that. And then, you know, for me, like, just being in the studio for 3-4 days, I get to have the most fun out of the experience. So the entire time, like, as much as I was trying to enjoy it, I also felt like really uncomfortable with like enjoying it fully either, because I was like, what about all those people who've like have taken a significant, you know, portion of their lives to dedicate to this, and only a select few get to enjoy it.
It's true. It is a thing around art and around the film industry and television. It's like the front facing, the forward facing people, the people at that, you know, who are at the forefront of it get so much attention and so many opportunities, and then there's like all the people who work tirelessly to make it happen.
It's much like this show. You know, Melissa and I get all the accolades, and Matt doesn't get any.
Matt's just behind that camera, you know, and weeping, gently weeping.
We get
into his whiskey.
All the comments and hearts.
I think for our lightning round, Dale.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a little bit of some of the places, some of the festivals and awards and things that the Breadwinner has received?
Let's do it.
Fun.
Whoa, let's do it.
All right.
All right. So, nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Chicago Film Critics Association Award.
Nominated for a Golden Globe Best Motion Picture.
Nominated for Florida Films Critics Circle Awards.
Winner of the Alliance of Women Film Journalists Award.
The Georgia Film Critics Association nominee.
Annie Awards.
The Gold Derby Awards.
Austin Film Critics Association.
Hawaii Film Critics Society.
Yes, Hawaii, love Hawaii. Yeah. Behind the Voice Actor Awards.
Houston Film Critics Society.
Broadcast Film Critics Association.
IndieWire Critics Poll.
Canadian Screen Awards.
International Cinephiles Society Awards.
London Film Festival.
The Leeds International Film Festival.
North Carolina Film Critics Association.
Seattle Film Critics Award.
North Texas Film Critics Association.
TIFF Kids International Film Festival.
Phoenix Critics Circle.
The Toronto Film Critics Association Awards.
San Francisco Film Critics Circle.
The Village Voice for Film Poll. Ugh. My brain is like...
Basically, there's pages and pages.
Actually, it goes on for pages.
Awards, like places it played, and awards that it was nominated for, and that it won, and it was it had such an impact.
Yeah.
That's so great. Yeah, I'm so happy. I just feel so honored to be part of it.
Yeah. Yay.
Same.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Did you get to go to any other festivals, or was it just Toronto?
No, I did Halifax. I did, I did a show in Ottawa recently for Undercurrents. And next year I'll be going on tour for about 3 months. And,
Oh, yay.
And doing The Archivist and seeing how that turns out.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
so Calgary and Vancouver and
nice.
Yeah.
Those are. I've toured a show to those cities. They're good.
I've never
they're good
been,
places
so
to see.
I'm pretty interested.
Are you
to see
in
what's
festivals
out
there? Are you going?
Yes.
Oh, great.
So we're just in the middle of figuring that out. Yeah.
Cool. They're great festivals in Calgary and Vancouver, theater festivals. So that's fantastic. And good audiences, like really engaged, interested audiences in those cities. So that's very exciting.
Amazing.
Yay. Well, we're nearing time here.
Yeah,
it
so
goes by
let's...
so quickly.
I know, it really does.
So as always, I will say that we had a lot of other notes. I will say this, that one of the things someone described you and your show you were nominated for a My Theater
Award, yes, for lighting and design
sound design and outstanding new work.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I like that. This is what the little blurb was, and I really liked it. So, Shaista Latif's one-woman memory play about her upbringing in the GTA and her struggles to reconcile her identity with the clashing influences in her life, maintained a conscious conversation with her audience, which is central both to the play's structure and Latif's beguilingly wry performance. Ooh. And I quite enjoyed that.
Oh,
beguilingly wry.
Oh.
Because you're very beguiling.
Wait, am I?
Yes.
Oh,
and you're also, like, very... You have such a unique and specific tone and point of view. That is really great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you both for having me here and for also doing this program and for just like going out there and sending the love and the generosity and the care and the kindness. It's so important. Thank you both.
Oh, thank you.
Our
pleasure.
Thank you.
Yay.
I'm going to start off with I'm going to finish off here with my new favorite thing.
Okay, let's do it, Dale.
It's real simple, y'all.
Do it.
What?
Ice. I have really sensitive teeth.
Yeah.
I don't like ice.
Yeah.
But lately, I've been like, man, ice. And I've been enjoying it. Filling my glass with ice. Never do it. I'm into it right now.
I love ice, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I used to like chew ice when I was a kid.
This, I have, all of this
Love
is
it.
so sore. All the time for ice.
I put it under my pits at the camp.
Just,
Just
Just
like
some ice
shovel it
pits?
in. And I'm like, come on, other artists, you gotta do too. It does help. It puts it down by like
Cools you down.
degrees.
Sure,
yeah,
Cools
it
you down.
does, Yeah.
Cools you
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Well, my new favorite thing, speaking of keeping you cool, so it's been a really hot summer here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where we are currently filming this program.
Toronto.
And it's been like humid and stifling. And I think if you've watched the show before, you might know that I don't enjoy that weather. And so we decided, Matt and I decided that we would get an inflatable kiddie pool for our backyard.
Yes, I saw that picture. It's
So-
amazing.
So we were
great.
at like Marshall's, and they had like this amazing picture. It was like the picture on the front of this package was amazing because it's like an inflatable pool, but there's a little bench and a little ledge where you can like lean back, and it has cup holders, so it's like quite fancy.
Okay.
And the picture on the box is like a mother, like a very young mother, like sitting in the pool, and her two little kids in front of her. So it's supposed to be like you sit on the bench while your kids are.
Sure.
It's
Okay.
amazing. But we were like, let's get this. Why not? And it has been amazing because you sit in it and like your core body, it's like kind of a bit of a cold plunge, if you will, but not so cold because it warms up over time. But it's like really brought my body temperature down on those really hot, stifling days. And it's made me feel so much better about the heat. And it's like super enjoyable to just hang out in the backyard and like, you know, put your drink in the cup holder. and-
Hashtag working class pool.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. Working class pool. That is entirely it, and I love it. It is my new favorite thing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite thing. My God, I have so many favorite things. It's so difficult. I think my favorite thing is I have this ring. My partner gave me this ring recently, and it's very
Oh.
sweet. And I like really don't like receiving like gifts, especially like jewelry or anything like that, because
Okay.
I don't think anyone can actually like really pick out things for me. But
Okay.
they
Right.
passed it on, and it was very sweet. And I actually really have been really enjoying looking at it. Yeah,
You have the kind of
a
hands
lovely
though
thing.
that can rock a big piece of jewelry.
Can
Yeah.
I? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Look
do.
at that. Look at that.
There you
That's
go.
beautiful too.
This is my grandfather's ring.
Beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful. That's lovely.
Yay.
Oh, I like those.
Oh, listen, we're done.
Listen, we're done. It's been an
Yeah.
amazing time.
That's it.
Thank you,
Thank you both.
Shaista, for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
I hope
Thank
the rest
you.
of Peace Camp is a great success.
Yes, it will be.
And-
I'm looking forward to the last day, the
Yeah.
night, when everyone just makes a fire pit. And
The fire
drinks.
pit is good and drinks and dances and has a
Yes.
good time.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you to all of you for joining us. We love having you watch and comment. And please stay tuned to our Facebook page for information about what's coming up next.
That's true. And like every week, we always say, go onto the page and please leave us a review. Leave us a review because the reviews really do mean something and they really do help out the show and they help other people find out about the show as well. So please do.
And we'll see you soon. And enjoy that hype.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye! And thank you, Open Source Music.
Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit buzzed.
Yay! Me
okay.
too,
Well,
for sure.
I doubled you up there.
Sweet.
Thanks.
That happens.